Hi everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about some measures of mortality. So we know what is mortality. It is a rate of death or death rates. So first of all we shall discuss about the crude death rate. So the term crude means that it is something like in total, the total value, or it's not a specific to something. It is in total from all the cases. So the definition of crude death rate is given here. That is the number of deaths from all causes per k persons in the population of any given region or community during a period. That means the number of deaths divided by the number of people in the population into K. So that is the annual deaths divided by the annual mean population into K. We usually take this K to be 1000 and this annual deaths by annual mean population will give us the annual crude death rate. And we denote this crude death rate by C.D.R. So we shall discuss this crude death rate as C.D.R. in the coming video. So this C.D.R. has some merits, that is, it is simple and easy to understand because we just have to know the total number of deaths or in that year, that is the annually how many deaths have happened, and the total or the annual mean population is the only required values. So if we have these two values, then we can calculate the crude death rate or C.D.R. And therefore it is simple to understand and calculate, and because of this reason C.D.R. is the most widely used of any vital statistics rate. So C.D.R. is simple to calculate and it is easy to understand is the reason why it is most widely used. So like it is even clear to a layman, that is why C.D.R. is the most widely used. Now, C.D.R. can be considered as a probability rate because if we consider this C.D.R., we know we have the entire population, the annual mean population in the denominator in our equation, and in the numerator there are annual deaths. So annual deaths divided by annual mean population will be like it will give us a probability rate, and because of which C.D.R. can be considered as a probability rate. So, coming to some of the demerits of the C.D.R. or the crude death rate, one of the demerit is that we are considering the annual deaths divided by the annual mean population. So, there is no restriction between the age or sex distribution. It completely ignores the age and the sex distribution of the population. So we know, like if it is the case of death, we know the age is an important factor in case of death. That means the infants or like the babies or the children under the age of like 1 or 2 are so prone to infections and so prone to deaths. Similarly, as the age increases and the people are like growing and they become adults, they're like little more stable and the death rate is comparatively low unless and until there are some emergency or accident cases. So as the age increases, uh, as elderly persons are more prone to death, so and the age is a factor in case of the death rate, but the crude death rate or the annual crude death rate always ignores the factor of age. Similarly the gender is a factor in case of the death rate. There are factors that is related to men. The men are more prone to sometimes more prone to this death factors than females. So, the sex and age both are completely ignored in a crude death rate. Next is that the C.D.R. is not suitable for comparing the mortality of two regions or the same place in two periods unless the place being compared have more or less the same age and sex distribution. That means C.D.R. can be used for the comparison only if we are comparing two places. So if we are comparing two places, then that places being compared must have almost the same age and sex distribution. Only then the CDR will be almost like comparable. Similarly, if we are comparing a same place at two periods, like if we are planning to uh, compare the case of India in 2010 and 2020, then that may be like too distant. So the periods should not be too distant. If we are to compare 2019 and 2020, it may be much more accurate in case of CDR. In case if we are using CDR to compare, so two distant periods are not, if the two periods are too distant, then we cannot use CDR for the comparison. So these two are the demerits, and there are a lot other demerits, but these two are two prominent demerits of the crude death rate. Now, this crude death rate can be calculated for the males and for females. That means CDR for males means the male death divided by male population into 1000, and CDR for females means female deaths divided by female population into 1000. So it is denoted by MD. M, that is the mortality, or male deaths divided by male population into 1000, and female deaths divided by female population into 1000. So crude death rate can also be calculated in case of gender, both the genders. So in this video we have discussed about the crude death rate and some of its merits and demerits, and crude death rate for the male and female. So it's a simple video. I hope you like it.